Welcome back to episode 4 of the Unreliable Narrator, the solution to the murdered magician. Hopefully you've all got your theories in, because we're now going to hear from our bewildered-looking regular murderers.
So bewildered.
If they have any theories as to who killed the famous magician Ian Credible, or Magic Ian, as he was by the end of it, which is actually a stronger pun than it sounds. Because written down, that would be
Magic Ian.
Yeah,
that was very deliberate. Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael.
I saw no one else got it.
Your magic, Mike.
Thank you.
Hey.
So let's go in order. Let's start with our first unreliable narrator, which was Joe. Who do you think killed Magic Ian?
I think the third person's name was Claire, wasn't it?
Clairvoyant.
Yeah. I think it's her. Mainly because the police said that only someone who knew the trick could do it. And then he made a point of saying that Madge knew the trick but had no motive. But then her big thing is that Ian stole other people's tricks. So I think she knew how to do it because he stole it from her.
So not Claire. How's about Claire then?
Because Madge, the point was made, like, Madge knows the trick because he's his assistant. And Claire was, Ian stole all of his tricks. So I think that this trick that only Ian knew, and he was the only person to have as a secret, wasn't true. I think Claire knew how to do it because it was her trick previously. Because he stole the trick from her.
Interesting.
That's what I think the motive is. I have no idea how she did it. I think it must be something to do with that she's not there. Because it always he disappeared and arrived in an empty seat, or would appear in the audience. So I don't know if that's, I don't know. I have no idea other than that, but I'm going to go with that, I think.
Excellent theory. This then went on to Lexi.
Okay, I think I've just had a brilliant brainwave. Okay, so I think Madge did it because, as Joe says, we said that he was known for maybe stealing tricks, and she knew how they were done. And it's that whole patriarchy thing where actually she was the smart female magician, but she wasn't taken seriously in a man's world, so she had to be the assistant. And then when they were going off the world tour, he was like, "You're going to be my assistant." She's like, "No, I'm the best magician, dude. You're mine." And then she had to kill him. But there's something intrinsic. I don't think there was an audience. He disappeared at a choir. With a lot of people. So she knows how to disappear an audience. So no one actually saw this happen. So therefore...
let's face it, watching this, we've disappeared an audience.
Yeah. So therefore she disappeared the audience and nobody saw the murder happen. So it was just a case of slight that. End of. And then she went, the audience were here, but no one was really there.
Okay. An excellent theory.
The police were imaginary.
Yeah. Okay. Paulie was next. What's your theory?
I'm going to go with what I originally thought, not before I filmed it, obviously, is that it was Madge that did it, and she was originally his assistant, and then he got rid of her. So she knew the trick because she was his old assistant. And then basically, because she was so annoyed about him not and saying that she was a good magician as she kind of went up the ranks, she decided to take him out because of this, and basically, I don't know, held the bottom of the box so he couldn't actually get out, and whoever cut it just cut straight into her neck, and that's how she did it.
Okay, it's an excellent thing. I'm disappointed you don't think it was Stan Manager.
It was a good man. I don't think it's need to accuse him.
No, I think Stan was just there to do his job, wasn't he?
He was just a Stan Manager. Good old Stan.
Good old Stan.
Manager.
Love Stan. Reliable.
Okay, well, next it was Alice. Who do we think?
I thought it was clairvoyant. Because she was the only name that made it all the way through to me in one piece. But then having watched yours, I think it has something to do with the fact that she's adamant that he steals people's tricks, and I agree with Joe that it was hers, but she was a smaller scale magician. She hadn't hit the big time yet, and he took her trick and did it in Giza's palace, and now no one believes that it was her trick. And so she killed him to get her trick back. I don't know. Somehow.
Solid theory. Somehow, devil's in the detail.
Yeah. Doesn't
Finally, Seb, bring us
Well,
home.
I mean, given the fact that I've only just discovered what the name of one of the characters was, and indeed a second character that hadn't been mentioned by name before, I really want to give Deckard Yowchows a shout out, and just in case he was the one that done it. So I'm going to say that him and Madge were having an affair. That's how Deckard knew what to do. He didn't understand how the trick worked, but he knew how to sabotage it that would allow him and Madge to run off into the sunset together instead of them being on tour. So it was all love.
Was all love.
Yeah.
Excellent theory. Everyone's going to be so annoyed with me.
None of us have got a solid how theory.
No, I don't have a clue how.
I cannot wait for this.
Nope.
Just
Okay.
watch the audience. Watch the fury in everyone's faces as I reveal this.
It's going to be vanish the audience.
So, I will now reveal who killed Ian Credible in the case of the murder magician. The killer was none other than Deckard Yowchows.
Wow.
Yes! Yes! I
Well
mean,
done.
1 in 3, but yes!
Explain all.
Okay, well,
Yes.
weirdly, so many of you have the right reason, but picked the wrong person. We heard from Clairvoyant that allegedly
trick.
stole tricks.
Hmm.
But how are we supposed to figure out what tricks he stole? Well, you had 3 chances to get it right, because we heard of 3 tricks of his, 3 of his most famous. Ye Accursed Hood, Our Dyed Coaches, and a Decoyed Chorus. That's a lot of D's and C's, isn't it?
You are kidding me!
All of them, every single one of them, is of course
An anagram.
humble anagram
Oh, you-
of Deckard Yowchows. I thought if I pick out such ridiculous sounding magic tricks and give you 3 chances to get it right, someone may pick up on it.
Oh, no.
I'm absolutely certain someone in the audience will get it, because the fact is there is always an anagram. And when I list 3 that all sound suspiciously a decoyed chorus, ye accursed hood, I'm clearly hiding something in that. And you all even said, there's probably something in those magic tricks. I figured one of them would get forgotten. I figured down the chain 2 of them would get forgotten. And by the end, probably none of them. But there we go. So once again,
Foiled!
our regular murderers have all been foiled. I hope you at home did better.
How did he do it then, Mike?
Well, because he designed the tricks.
Yes,
The only reason why everyone dismissed him was because we heard that Ian set the tricks himself, because only he knew how to do them, because he hid his secrets. But if I want to call him Stan now,
Stan.
but if Deckard had designed the trick, he would know exactly how to make it fail. And we heard that Ian was about to go off on a round-the-world cruise and leave the crew behind. He wasn't going to, Deckard was about to lose all of his tricks, never get a chance again. So he wanted to kill him before he disappeared.
Oh.
He would know exactly. He was the only one that had access to all the tricks, other than Madge, who had literally no motive. He had access to all the tricks. The only reason why you all dismissed him was because the same reason the police did initially. Ian was apparently the only one who knew how it worked.
And
But of
because
course,
he was called Stan.
and because by the time it reached you, he was called Stan rather than...
Pseudonym.
basically,
He had a pseudonym
It
called
was someone
Stan.
in the audience that cut his neck.
Yeah, it was a member of the audience.
Oh, right, okay,
All Deckard did was just make sure that the trick was rigged so he couldn't get his head out. Next week, tune in for a slightly easier mystery and a considerably easier accent. I've already decided who it is. And let's just say, let's get ready to crumble.
Oh.
They know what this is, audience, you don't. But it will be a hoot and a half. So thank you once again for watching another episode of The Unreliable Narrator. We will see you again next time with another ridiculous mystery and see if you can outsolve our regular murderers. Thank you and bye-bye.
Puff of smoke, puff of smoke, puff of smoke.